What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the One More Rep podcast. I'm your host. My name is Joseph Percher. This episode is brought to you by Mitropoulos supplements and Crystal's bikinis. Today, I am joined by a good friend of mine. I am joined by Steve Mitropoulos. Steve is a competitor. He's a coach, business owner, full-time dad.
Yeah,
Quite the resume that he's got there. So, Steve, what's up, man? Thanks for joining the show.
of course. Good. It's good to see you, dude. It's been a bit.
It's
It's
been a long time. Yeah, it's
yeah,
been probably too long, but it's good to see you too, man. Great to
yeah,
see you kind of face to face.
yeah. Yeah, dude. A lot of life has changed in the
Yeah,
last
big time.
three, four
Big time.
years since we did
Yeah,
the
so
show.
so you have two young girls, you have a wife, you
Yeah.
have the business obviously. So talk to me about what life has been like recently.
So I last competed in 2021, which is just crazy to say, but me and Nina, we got married in September of 21. And then, I put body, like the competitive side on hold because, we knew we wanted to start a family and have a kid. So I did the necessary steps to make sure my body was in the proper state, I guess we could call it for that. I
Sure.
wanted to make sure I did all that right, especially bringing life into the world. I didn't want to approach it in a selfish way. So we get into that, all that too. And then my daughter, Vienna, was born in November of 22. And then after that, I had some discussions with my coach, with Johnny Castellita, and him too being somebody I look up to and somebody who can offer very, very good like life advice before bodybuilding. He told me not to push the bodybuilding again if we wanted to have another kid. He said there's no point of going backward just to kind of go forward. He said family, especially where I'm at in life, should come first. The stage is always there. So I kind of needed that pep talk. So I kind of still put competing on hold. I was still, obviously training, eating, and whatnot. Like you said, we've been living the lifestyle for dude like half our lives at this point. So,
Yeah.
uh, and then after that, that was November of 22. We waited a year, started trying again to have my second daughter now, Gia, who was born September of last year. So my oldest daughter, Vienna, is 2.5, and then my youngest Gia is 8 months now. So it's
Awesome.
yeah, a lot
Beautiful.
I've gotten Lyme's disease in the last 4 years. I got it after
Oh man.
yeah, that was bad. I was in the hospital for 3 days. They drained 900 cc's of fluid from my right leg. That's also the quad tendon I tore last year in July.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's been it's been a trip, man. It's been a trip.
What happened first?
The Lyme's disease happened in May, literally 2 weeks after Junior USA's.
Oh wow.
I woke up one morning, man. The back of my right knee was bugging me. It was weird because like I trained legs the day before and I did calves, so I thought like, maybe my calf was overworked. And then like it progressively started getting tighter and tighter to the point where it was my whole leg from literally my hip to my calf was swelling with fluid more and more by the day. And I don't mean like just like a little bit, like it was like 50 cc's of fluid, like it was. And I
Dude,
thought they were
that's
gonna.
terrifying in
It was
our
absolutely
space.
terrifying.
Yeah.
What was more terrifying, dude, is I went to the hospital. I was there for 3 days. They didn't catch the Lyme's disease. No, they did blood work. They were like, your blood work's actually good, which I thought was crazy being prep was 3 weeks prior,
No
coming off
shit.
and all that stuff. And it was immaculate. They said everything was good. And they did an echocardiogram. They did scans of my kidney, my liver, my gall, everything, dude. It was crazy. They had me I did like over 10 scans of my leg, my knee. They did an MRI there. They were like, your knee's good. They did tell me I had some wear and tear to the quad tendon. They said like 30-40% was worn,
Okay.
which they said though, like were to if you were to MRI guys of our size, they said there was going to be some compromise to that tendon because of
Sure.
how we train legs. So I was like, all right. And the doctor in the hospital told me that tendon is so thick that 30% of that is like nothing. They were like,
Makes
if your
sense.
bicep tendon was 30-40% torn, that's
Right.
probably snapping.
Yeah.
So they said no concern there. They let me out. They drained 900 cc's of fluid.
That
There
is
was one nurse.
crazy.
Yeah, dude, there was literally two nurses with like a 6-inch needle and two sides of my knee, just pulling like 100 cc syringes of fluid. It was sick, dude.
That's like a cattle
It was
syringe.
sick, dude. It was crazy.
Oh,
I threw up. I was throwing up on the floor. It did
Oh
not feel
man.
good. After that, it came back the next day. So I was like, listen, I don't know what's going on. I went to my orthopedic doctor who's been seeing me for my shoulder arthritis for years. He was like, listen, I'm going to bring the knee doctor in, who later was the guy who did my quad tendon surgery last year. So his name's
Okay.
Dr. Bernardini, phenomenal knee, orthopedic doctor and surgeon. He comes in, he goes, you have Lyme's disease. And I said, right away. I'm like, what do you mean I have Lyme's? Like, I didn't have a bullseye thing or anything.
Right. Right.
I'm like, we shave all our body hairs, but I don't have anything on me. My
I
wife
know.
didn't anything on me. So he's like, we're gonna do blood work. Sent a nurse in at the office, did blood work. Literally 1 or 2 minutes later, yeah, you have Lyme's. They put me on doxycycline for 30 days, wrecked my gut health, dude. I was eating like
Yes.
twice a day. I lost like 30 pounds. It was miserable. And my whole
Man.
recovery after that was shot. Uh,
Yeah.
my leg was not the same for like 2 months because all the fluid. I was in pain, um, and whatnot. So that was that.
And
Uh,
did you lose mobility like in the knee at this point
I
too?
well, so after all the fluid came out and the medicine, the
Yeah.
antibiotic could course after a week or two, I was okay. But
Okay.
like, I had some atrophy there because I couldn't
Sure.
train for 2 months. But the issue was as soon as that was done, that knee was never the same. It was screaming in pain. So the doctor thinks that the Lyme's was just tearing away at my quad tendon. That's what he thinks
Okay.
because it just attacks your joints.
Yeah.
Um,
And what
since
happened? How did you tear the quad? What were you squatting?
I was walking,
Oh my
I was
goodness.
literally just walking. I took a step forward, my ankle gave out, and my knee just exploded, dude.
Thank God you weren't under a bar or something.
No, dude, because my dumbass used to squat like 585 and
I know.
all these
That
reps.
and you're in a home gym where you're there by
Oh,
yourself.
I would have been done, dude. I would have been crawling
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I was at my best friend Matt's house down the street here. We were at his son's third birthday party last year. Everybody left. This was like 7 p.m. on a Saturday. I literally had 3 balloons in my hand. I was literally bringing them from outside to inside to throw away. I took one step on the grass and my knee just blew out.
Man.
The
It was
I
just meant to go.
It was, yeah. What's crazy is I did legs the day before and
And
I
it felt
squatted like
okay.
495 and I felt fine. Like my knee was in pain though. Ever
Yes.
since the Limes, like I am now, I tell people the last 2 months having the most productive leg workouts I've had in the last 4 years. Because I couldn't
Awesome.
feel my right quad muscle because my knee was in so much pain, dude. There was a lot of times I would go back into my shed and work out and I couldn't get through leg extensions with 20, 30 pounds because my right knee after the Lyme's disease was in excruciating pain. There was times I'd have to pull over on the side of the road to get out and stretch my leg out because my leg couldn't stay bent for more than like 20 minutes. It was terrible, dude. So I put off, you know how we are, dude. We're stubborn as bodybuilders. I put off like an MRI and all that. I knew something was wrong. I figured it was the quad tendon because in the hospital they said like, hey, it's 30,
Right.
40%.
You're like, they
So
told me it's fine. I'll work through it.
yeah, so it finally went, dude, last year. But I'll tell you what, I hate to be that guy, like, hey, like something like that was a blessing in disguise, but like my leg
Everything
work,
for a reason, dude.
yeah, for sure. So like now, dude, my leg workouts are phenomenal. I'm training much differently. I'm definitely never squatting 5 plates again. I don't even think I'm gonna get back under a bar again. So I'm doing things strategically now and a little wiser, I guess, now that I'm 32. I got two
Well,
kids.
you have the experience and you have the training background to where
Yeah,
you know how to make a workout hard and
yeah,
effective.
yeah,
And
yeah,
also your legs, your quads might have been your best body part, dude. So
yeah.
it's gonna come back.
Yeah, so I did measurements 6 weeks ago, and my quad's 4 inches bigger as of last Monday.
Beautiful.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
like I'm doing things smart, man. These are the best leg workouts I've had in 4 years. So I can't complain now. Um, I guess hindsight being 2020, I had a very fast recovery from something so major. I did all my own rehab with my buddy David.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't going
And
to.
what so like from so tell me what was a fast timeline? Like how are you judging that from the
I
time of the
mean, I was
surgery
training legs
until you could
8 months. Eight
8
months.
months? Wow.
I'm 10 months
Eight.
as of the 16th, so 6 days
Oh,
ago.
okay. A lot of times I hear that it's like expected to be over a year, that it's not normal.
And no, the doctor. So I saw the doctor at 10 days post surgery. He took like the gauze off. I saw him at 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I was out of the brace in 4 weeks. My leg was at 100 degrees at week 4. Yeah,
Wow.
which he didn't really approve of, but I told him I don't really care.
Then
Um,
you're not a regular person. You're not the average person that he's used to
I
seeing.
told him that, right? I walked into surgery in the morning and like he was like, "How are you walking? Because your leg is detached." He said from top
Yeah,
to bottom. I was
crazy.
like, "I don't." So they got me in pretty quick, man. That was on a Saturday night. I was in an MRI Monday at noon, and my surgery was that Wednesday, so it was 4 days.
Oh, wow. So that's crucial. That's a big part of how
Yeah,
fast recovery happens.
yeah. So dude, I was body weight squatting with like a 30-pound dumbbell, like 8 weeks.
Wow.
So
No
yeah, I
shit.
mean, yeah, we could go through like the recovery stuff I used to. I don't know, like if people really care about that. I mean,
Is that in terms of like peptides or
yeah, I was,
supplements? Man, we
yeah,
I'd love to hear it.
yeah.
I've
So
dove into, not to cut you off, but I've really
it,
tried to recently dive into. I mean, a lot of these peptides have been around the whole time you and I have been into
I know,
bodybuilding, and
yeah.
I never really gave them much of a thought. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
they work though, man. Now I'm a firm believer. My dad
I'm
used
finding out. I'm finding out from trying to talk to people that have used it or people
crazy,
that are
dude.
educated on it. I'm finding out that this stuff has
It's
a lot of merit. So tell me all about it.
Yeah, so kind of backtracking to 2021, that's the last time I really used anything from a PED perspective. So I was on HRT from that point until a month ago, honestly.
Okay.
So I was just doing 200. I was When we had my first daughter, I was off of everything, and I felt like dog shit, dude. It was bad. I was on all the
Yeah.
fertility stuff. Um I after the surgery, well, actually, so I made sure I had everything, and then it came in, and the day after the surgery, I pretty much started. I was doing 1500 BPC every day, 1500 TB 500. I was doing copper peptide point 3 mLs every day.
How was
Um,
that? I hear that's brutal to pin.
it hurt. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
The doctor didn't know about these, and I was like, I don't expect you to. And he
Right.
was like, please inject your knee, and I still did. I mean, I'm like, yeah, right where. It didn't feel good at first because everything was bruised and swollen, dude. The incision was still fresh, but and then I was doing collagen peptides in the injectable I got.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, from some clinic down, I think it was Florida or Texas. I don't know. I'd have to check again. Johnny told me about them though, and I got a hold of them. He got a hold of he actually knows the Miami Heat doctor very well, so he's the one who put me in contact with
Oh,
them.
wow.
So he had them to me like overnight. And then
Nice.
Johnny told me to took something called PEA. Um,
Okay. I'm not familiar.
yeah, it's like an anti-inflammatory. I didn't know until he taught me either, dude. And then I was on a ton of boswellia, and
Okay.
I was doing two
Any
cups of
GH?
yeah. I was doing drinking 2 cups of bone broth before bed,
Okay.
beef bone broth, and then I was on 8 units of growth.
Excellent. Okay.
It
That's
was, and that was for 14 weeks, all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I spoke with a guy yesterday who said that for his most of his career he's had knee issues, and he says that he notices it most in terms of effectiveness when he puts the GH and the BPC together, site inject into the spot.
I put everything. I put the copper, the BPC, the TB, and the growth hormone all in one. It was like a whole CC every
Really?
every night, right at my knee.
Wow, dude, that is
Dude,
crazy.
I was in a depressed state, not gonna lie
Of
then,
course.
but it was also Nina was pregnant when when I
Right.
had surgery. She was 6 months pregnant. You've met her before, dude. She's 4'10", man, and
I know.
carrying a baby around at 6 months. I felt terrible as a husband because her hormones and what she was going through in that process. You feel like you just have to be there for the female, and at this point, she's helping me shower. You can't sit on
Right.
the
You're immobile. Yeah.
it was terrible sleeping. So I started talking to my therapist again that I saw in high school when I started lifting, and I went through all my mental health shit then and whatnot. It was a tough time, man. It was brutal. But I always say, tough shit makes you stronger for sure. No, grass does not grow where it's the best.
Right.
You got to go
Right.
through tough shit, man, and that's really it's true. We got through it, man, and I'm here now. So, I can't complain. There's a lot
Yeah.
of people going through worse shit. It taught me a lot. It taught me a lot of patience to slow down. That's what I tell people when they ask me. Yeah, I mean, Yeah, dude, it was rough. I'm not gonna lie, but I can't complain because to be here only 10 months, not even a year later, and I mean I'm back pretty much training legs at 100%. So I can't complain.
It almost seems like had that not all happened, like you said, everything happens for a reason. Had that not happened, like you would have just continued to deal with the knee pain.
Yeah,
Yes, you had to go through a surgery and all, the trauma of tearing it, but now you're back to 100. Like you wouldn't have gotten there
no, you're right.
if it just continued on as such.
Yeah,
Um, and then we were talking a little bit off air because I didn't know the extent of it, but I knew that you went through some of this. I knew even just you setting your life up to be this providing family man. I didn't know if you were coming back to be able to compete again or what that you had your sights set on that. So talk to me now. Like you're feeling 100% with the knee.
yep,
Family set up, the business is in a good spot. And like Johnny had told you, the stage will always be there. You
yeah,
aren't always going to be in the prime of your life in terms of being able to create and have a family. So you
100%.
took care of that. Now the foundation is set. The knee is healthy again. So what are we thinking? Are you doing USA's next year or what?
So when the day of my surgery, when I woke up, right,
Yeah.
my wife was there, my dad, and my dad's been an integral part for my mental health since
Yeah.
I tried to kill myself in high school. I don't even know if you knew that. You might
I
have.
didn't know that. No,
Yeah,
I didn't
so
know that.
we can get into that too. I'm huge on mental health, especially for men. I don't think it's talked about enough. And I have no problem admitting, hey, we all cry. Men should cry. It's good to show emotion. Um,
We're human.
we
We're
all go
allowed to be human. Yeah.
exactly right. And I don't like when that's judged. Um, so when I woke up from surgery, I told my dad, I'm like, I don't want a wheelchair out of here. So him and my wife came back, and my dad's like, well, what do you want to do? I'm like, I'm walking out. Both my legs are attached to my hips. I'm walking out, like whether it takes 20
Yeah.
minutes or not. So he told the nurses, and my dad helped me out. Got in the car, I went home. He came to my house, and I had a really good cry with him. And he looked at me. He was like, you're getting on stage again, right? And that was like one of the first things he
I love
said.
your dad, dude. I met him one time and I love your dad.
Yeah, he's an immigrant, and like he taught himself English and literally put himself through two PhDs. The guy just is no BS. Like he just doesn't care. He's just like he doesn't care. you
When
know,
you told me after surgery, when you just said, as a non-negotiable, I am walking out of here. In my mind, I'm like, the old man had to have been smiling as soon as you said that
he
because
was my
that's
wife
his
was shaking.
mentality.
It is. He's my dad's crazy. At 65, he talks about competing again, and I'm like, Dad, come on. He's had back surgery, rotator cuff, his bicep.
Yep.
So, but my wife was shaking her head. My dad was like, "Well, I guess we're walking out then. Like it is what it is."
Yeah.
So my dad's always instilled in me when you say you're going to do something as a man, that's all you have. You have your word. So I
That's
walked
it.
out of there. It took me about 15 minutes to walk out. The nurses absolutely thought I was like out of my mind. And they're
Of
like,
course.
definitely the anesthesia just like making me like loopy headed. But I knew what I was doing. And I walked out, man. I drug my right leg the hell out of there. And when I got home, like I said, I had a really good cry with him and my wife. And he said, you're getting on stage. And I said, absolutely. I will not go out like that. There's just no way. So, dude, it's that mindset we have as competitive bodybuilders, right? Who it's just like you're never done, man.
Then it's
Like
just on to the next. Like, okay, this
on
is
to the
one
next.
challenge, then I'm on to the next. Like,
Right. So I was like, listen, let me get my leg back, Dad. But I know I'm definitely going to get on stage again. So I said, let's see when I can start to train legs again. And then we'll figure out the whole coaching thing. We'll get on, a proper plan and check-ins and do the whole process again. Um, so like I said, my leg days, I've been getting progressively over the last 8 weeks better. I'd say the last like 4 weeks have been spot on. So I'm looking probably in the next month or two here to kind of buckle down with a coach and really, really get moving here. I want to do USA's next year.
yeah,
Uh, that's kind of the goal. If not, it'll be North Americans. The
cool.
way I view competing now, man, in my head is if I'm gonna push the drugs, right? I have two little girls that depend on me to be here. So
And your wife. Yeah,
and my wife, right? So it has to be like I'm not going for a regional show.
right.
I mean, it's
It's
just
got to be worth it.
yeah. I told my dad and I told my wife I have till 36. So I got 4 years. Do I think I was a year or maybe a little bit more away from being in the top two or three at a national show? I believe that 4 years ago. So we'll see, man. That's the goal, but as provided, knock on wood, there's no more injuries or no more BS. That's the plan to get back up there next year. But like I said,
Awesome.
it's got to be all or nothing. Because I've never shortcutted bodybuilding at all.
Yeah.
Uh, it's everything. It's always been 100%. So, but I gotta talk to Johnny here because he's not really coaching competitively.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask next is there a list or guys that you're considering?
So I'm gonna, out of respect for Johnny, he's like literally like my big brother. He coached me for literally 11 years.
I was going to
Uh,
say it had to have been 10 years. Yeah.
and since I've been 21, man. So we obviously haven't been on a plan or anything the last 3, 4 years, granted life and all that, but I talk to him almost every day. And it's 5% about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
It's just life and in general, and his insight is very valuable to me. Um, so I respect him enough, obviously, to have that conversation with him. He's just not in the competitor coaching
Sure.
anymore, which
It
I
takes a
respect.
lot. It
It
takes a
does.
lot.
It takes a lot. So like with him, he's like, I don't want to be up on Saturdays peaking people. And
I
he's
get
got
it.
all these businesses, man. They're
Yeah.
trying to start a family, him and his wife. So he's so busy with mentorships and building other businesses and stuff. So I respect that. And I don't want to put that pressure on him
Yeah.
because again, like I said, I'm in the mindset where it's got to be all or nothing. You know what I
Right.
mean? I'll pay for you to be there, but I need you to be able to be there. You
Right.
know what I mean?
I
So
need you to be all in too.
exactly, right? So I don't want to
Yeah.
put that pressure on him to make him feel like he has to be just for me. I value relationships more than a diet and coaching somebody or somebody coaching me. It's
Right.
not the relationship is going to be far superior and more long term than we're getting on stage. You know what I mean? So as far as a list, man, so Dom Cardone strikes my mind. Um, Andrew Berry,
I
Justin
can't
Compton.
say enough good things about Andrew. And so Compton's my coach. I have nothing but good
Yeah,
things to
yeah,
say
yeah,
about him.
right. So
But I've got a chance to interact with Andrew quite a bit in person down here.
yeah, he's a good
And
dude.
man, I am so impressed. I am so impressed. I don't know that I could recommend someone like Andrew enough.
Yeah, so that's good to hear, man, because I respect your opinion highly. And those three kind of come to mind. Especially from the health aspect. I know all three are big on health, which I am too.
Let me cut you off too. I can say the same thing about Compton, of course. I've it's been a totally new experience for me in terms of the level of care and in the circumstance that I hired him, I kind of hired him on a whim after a really bad showing last year with a different coach, and he was so invested immediately. I
That's
think
awesome.
just from I think it probably resonates how much I care about bodybuilding, and it's not necessarily that I'm the next, the next big thing and he's like, let
Oh,
me be involved in this with this guy. I think I probably just put off that I really care and that I love
yeah,
bodybuilding. And man, he is as all in as
yeah.
I am
That's
on
what
his
you want,
side of
and it
it.
shows he cares.
So he does, and he's on top of it in terms of like staying on top of the latest stuff that's coming
Yeah,
out or the stuff that's available. He's very open-minded to things. Those two guys, I've heard nothing but good things about Dom as well, but personally, I can really
yeah,
strongly recommend both Andrew and Justin.
yep, yeah, man. So I have like a pretty cool like personal experience with Justin Compton and Dom too, and actually Andrew, all three of them. So all three I've been around in person. I've talked. Justin Compton, I met at the 2012 Olympia
He
when
was full
my
blown, huh?
oh dude, he was the biggest human I've ever seen. So funny story, man. And if you ask him, I'm sure he'll remember. So he was waiting for a cab, and my mom told me if I save up half the money, she'll pay up the other half for my high school graduation. So we went
Awesome.
to Vegas for like 3, 4 days, and he was waiting for a cab. He was right behind. I didn't know who he was. So I saw him and I'm like, hey man, like he said he had to go to the gym for an appearance or something. So I said, hey man, you want to get in the cab with us? I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
He was, I don't know, I don't want to do that. Like I was like, oh dude, just get in. So he got in and we took a whole cab ride for like 45 minutes, him, me, and my mom. The dude took up the entire back of the cab.
Yeah.
I'm like against the window like this. And like, in 2012, I was probably like, I was not 250 pounds, dude.
Right.
So
Right.
he said he actually offered me to train with him the next 3 4 days. So I got to train with
That's
him for
awesome.
3 days straight, learned a ton, got his personal phone number. We communicated, man, pretty here and there, frequent for and often until like 2015, 16. And then we just lost touch. So I have that with
Sure.
him. Dom Cardone really had my back when I won collegiate nationals in 2017 or 18, one of them years. So long ago at this point, it feels like. When I showed up, I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where check-ins were. Everything in Pittsburgh, like at that point, there was like no direction. There was no
Okay.
see there. So he was like, "Hey, buddy, are you lost?" I was like, "Yeah, I don't know where to go check in. Like, I only have 20 minutes. We just drove from Jersey." He was like, "Oh, dude, I'm from New York," and I knew who he was because the guy had the freakiest quads ever back then, dude.
I
Right
100%.
when he
Yeah.
won Easterns and then Nationals
Then
at
he won nationals at 21 or whatever he
21,
was,
dude. It was
Yeah.
insane. So he walked me there, dude. He was so polite to my parents. He was like, "Who's your coach?" I was like, "Johnny Castellini." He was like, "Oh, I know Johnny." Dude, every time, like that day, and then the morning of, dude, he found me backstage. He took all my pictures, sent them to Johnny.
Wow, nice.
Dude, just such a nice guy, man. Like after I won, like congratulated me, all that. And when I did Universe the year before, he was like, I'm sorry, I think it was the year before. Yeah, I met him there first, and he didn't remember me at collegiates the next year.
Okay.
But I remembered him. So, dude, he was a huge help, man. At collegiates. And then Andrew, I saw him at Universe when I was there with a client like maybe 3 years ago. I sat next to him and his wife for prejudging at finals, dude. And then in the airport, we were there 2 hours before. I had like a whole 2 hour conversation with him. They were all three, dude. I just remember how nice of just men they were and human beings. And they all do great coaching work, and I've heard nothing but good things. So, if Johnny's not on board with it, like I said, don't want to unnecessarily put that pressure on him because I value my relationship with him over him doing my diet. Those are the three I would talk to.
You're going to be in good hands either way.
Yeah, I
So
appreciate it, man.
it's gonna be good. All three of those guys are awesome. I know personally people that Dom took the coaching over and like changed the trajectory of their life and career. And like I said, Justin and Andrew are exceptional. The thing that stands out to me about the three of them, one is like you said that they really care. They love bodybuilding. They all walk the walk
Yep,
at the highest level,
it's
but
true.
also they are constantly learning and refining their process and their
Yep.
knowledge. There's a lot of guys that come in and they figure out a couple things that work and they've been doing it for 25 years and they
Yep.
don't want to hear a word about anything else.
Yeah.
None of those guys are like that.
No, it's true. Yeah, you're right,
I've
man.
heard of all of them greatly evolving as things come out. They have different experiences, whatever. So, man, that's awesome. I'm excited to hear it. I didn't know even like off air. I didn't know
I
if you were going to be coming back. So I'm stoked for you, man.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I keep my personal life kind of like if I know you, man, we're close, right? Like if you were to text me or call me, whatever,
Yeah,
I'd have whatever, as like a friend. But like outside of that, man, I keep my personal stuff here, kind of
personal. Yeah,
yeah, personal, right? It's not intentional. It's just more like there's a lot of BS and ego and drama nowadays with bodybuilding. And at 32, man, like once my first daughter was born, my whole mindset kind of shifted where like just focus on watering your own grass and kind of talk to those who have shown you respect and you respect. And, that's it. Like posting these reels I'm posting and stuff. Johnny's been kind of guiding me. It's kind of like, hey, you got to get out of your shell. People want to see you talk. They don't want to just see before and afters and all that. And so it's been helping. I don't care. I don't mind talking and posting that stuff. It's just, I never think to because it's just not like a urgent thing to me. I'm like work,
yes.
do any phone calls for new clients potentially and then once I get my kids, man, that's literally all I care about. It's like the
I
best
will
time.
tell you this from my experience, why it's a good idea and obviously why it's the right thing that Johnny's pushing you to do this is that there's, as you know, everyone is a coach now. People that have done one show, people that have done no show, people that have done
It's
no
so bad.
shows, people that
It's
have
bad.
never been to a bodybuilding show are a coach now. And they will argue with you until they're blue in the face about what's right,
Yeah.
what's wrong, what's optimal, right? So everyone's a coach. I was given the advice a long time ago by someone that I respect greatly. They said that when it comes to sales, people buy from people they like and
I agree.
people they trust,
Yeah,
especially when it's like their own bodybuilding career. You know how much goes into this, you know what I mean?
I
So
know.
if you're talking about hiring someone, it's a lot of trust to just hand over
I
the
know.
rein, especially when you are an athlete like you or myself, where it's like I'm going to turn my brain off and do everything
I
exactly
know.
that you
It's
say.
hard. I know.
So they're pulling all the strings, right? So people buy from people they like and people they trust. So you have only like it's only a good thing for you to get out in front of
Right.
people more, right? You have nothing to hide. You have a lifetime of knowledge and experience to show people. So get out and show them because I feel like you have almost a specific like market up in the New Jersey, Pennsylvania area kind of
Of
cornered, but it never hurts to expand and have other
Right.
people see you.
Of
And
course.
with this phone, it's like, man, this
I
is
know
a
you can do
million
so much.
dollar bro, it's $1 million marketing agency that we get to use for free.
I know it's crazy. It's been
Uh,
working, man. I hired an editor. He's been doing these the last like what 3 weeks. I've been posting. I'm
yeah,
trying
I've
to see
seen the
like
reels and the standard cover that you have, so they sit on your
yeah.
page. It looks good, dude. It looks
Thanks, man.
professional.
Yeah, he's doing all that. So like man, I tell people all the time, like when you know like how much knowledge we have and experience, like talking about those topics, it's just easy, So it takes me
Yeah.
like 2 minutes to film one of them, and I just send it to
Doesn't it
him. He
almost
edits
seem
it.
silly? You're like, man, doesn't everybody know this?
Some of the stuff, yes.
Yeah.
Um, but like I just recorded one today about like weight loss versus fat loss, and I'm like, as crazy as people should know this, like the amount of questions I'm sure you get asked too, like the scale didn't drop, and I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. Look at the difference
You're
from
leaner.
to go
Yeah.
to net. Yeah. So
Right. Right.
just like little shit, man. I made a whole list of like 300 things that like people like over the years people have asked me, hundreds of people, so I'm just gonna start spitting them out more. It's been
Awesome.
working, dude. I mean,
It works.
it has. It's as crazy as it sounds. Just dumb little things that work.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I just keep to myself, dude. I don't know.
No, no, it works, dude. And the thing is, too, it helps. Like, there are so many people that do have this knowledge or can answer a simple question, right? But it's also in part like, how do you communicate this? Can you
Yeah,
make this sound simple to people so that
yeah,
they understand it? Because most people don't have this understanding the way that
yeah.
you would have from living a lifetime in this type of space.
It's
So
true.
talk to me a little bit about the coaching. Are you still helping people that compete? Have you, because I see a lot, like you have like ads up now, which I think is awesome to see, where
Yeah, yeah,
it's very directed towards like the dad or the businessman, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
are you still in that field helping competitors? Do you want to be in that space at all?
yeah, yeah. So I got actually a bunch of people coming up here soon. Uh,
Okay.
it was more so too, like Johnny has himself has become so wise when it comes to the business side of things and the ads and all that. So again, the guy's just a plethora of knowledge from like so many avenues. So he helped me out. And he said, listen, you have the look that's going to attract the competitor. You post a stage picture up. Hey, look what I went
Yep.
from 18 to 28. If you want to make this transformation, hire me. So he's like, but you don't have a transformation of when you were 300 pounds and you lost 100 pounds. He
Right.
was like, you can't relate to that. You can relate to the opposite. You can
Yes.
relate, hey, I can read your blood work. I can write your PEDs. I can get you shredded and peak you. Great. Most people don't give a shit about that. So he was
Right.
like, when you put somebody on stage, you do a good job with them. That's the marketing for that. He explained to me. So he said, also, the people who actually have the money, he was like, are the lifestyle people. They are the
100%.
professionals with the career. He said that's what you spend
100%.
money on ads for. And I was ready to, I may have had a testimonial, may have had 10 clients put together a 30-second thing. I was like, just talk a testimonial for me. And I had some guy on Fiverr edit it all together for a minute. And I ran it. It did okay, but I'm on the phone. I had like maybe 15 phone calls from the ad. I spent $300 on it, dude. And the phone calls I had, man, were like, or the inquiries on Instagram were like, hey, how much do you charge? Well, this is what I charge. Oh, I'm looking for like $100. So at that point, I realized how broke bodybuilders really are.
They all are. Yeah.
And you can't, it's hard to get a 21, 22-year old because, dude, Bumstead has revolutionized the young market for this stuff now. It's like 18, 19, 20. They want to know what PEDs you're putting them on. They don't even know what lab work is. They don't care. And they're not going to pay you. They're not going to
No,
pay
they have
you
no money.
what
Most of these kids
what's going
don't
to
even have
work.
a job.
No, that's what I mean. So it's like Johnny's like, you need to put the money in advertising into the niche that has the money. And that's it. Also too, man, I'm sure you know too, lifestyle people, they listen a bit better, in my opinion, than
Bro, lifestyle people pay the bills and they adhere to
and
a much
I
greater
know.
degree.
If they're ready to go, dude, it's like from day one they're ready to go. As soon as that initial plan starts,
Machines.
they're machines. Yeah. And it's like they
Bro, and
check
these are
in.
the same people that have the most responsibilities.
I
They
know
have
their
the
kids.
family.
Yeah,
They have to be
I
up
know.
at, if they're going to train at all, they got to be up at 4 in the morning to train. That way they can go to work, come
I
home, take
know.
care of the kids, pack lunch, and they do it every time.
I know. I know. It's crazy.
You'll get a
So
check-in email at 3:30 in the morning from a lifestyle
I know, dude.
person.
Most of them like
Hey,
submit
this was the
thing.
only time I could do it. Whereas, like, you get this bodybuilder that does nothing all day. His
It's 10
parents pay
10
all
a.m.
his bills,
10 a.m.
and he'll send it at 2 in the afternoon. Hey, man, sorry, I forgot about this. It's
Yeah.
like,
So
you forgot about this?
I agree, bro. It's so funny to hear. It's like refreshing that like
Oh,
us
no, it
as
drives me
full-time
up.
coaches deal with all the same
Oh,
stuff.
it drives me up a wall, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's very mind-boggling, but so that's what the ads I'm trying to gear more towards. And
Yeah,
I have a few people, I have 4 people doing Atlantic States. I got 5 doing
awesome.
Universe. Um, I got the PA show in August, 3 doing a Big Cat. I
What is
have,
that PA muscle?
yeah, I have somebody, I've 2 people doing that, and then they're doing the show the week after or before. It's the NJ State, I think.
Yeah, NJ State. Yeah,
And
okay.
then Big Cat, I have like 7 so far for. That is always
Okay.
a big show for me, man. I've had
That's a
like,
good show, man. That's like a really good, well-run local show.
oh, it's awesome, man. Craig's a good dude too. He runs great shows.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. That's like just become like a show where I have like 10 people at every year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy, man.
And it will continue because you keep showing up and 6 of the people win or whatever the case
Yeah,
is. And it's
yeah.
it's more that people see that you're there.
Oh yeah, I go to the shows as long as I can with the kids. Yeah, my wife holds down the fort here. I feel bad leaving her with 2, but it's work. She understands that,
I mean,
you
that's how
know.
you provide for them,
And yeah, no, she gets it, bro. She's great, and
I
she
know. Yeah,
understands
yeah.
it. And it's just sometimes it's hard being away from them all on a Saturday from 4 a.m. You know how it is to
I
midnight
know,
when you get
dude.
home. But it is what it is. It's work. I love everything we do with coaching, man. And being with athletes that you got there at shows is better than just going and watching a bodybuilding show. Like, I don't have much interest in
100%.
going to a random show at this point and just watching bodybuilding.
No, me
It's
either.
boring. You know what I mean? So, like if clients are there, of course I'm there, I'm with them. So yeah, I got them, dude, and then everyone else is. I mean, probably have, I don't know, 30 competitors and everybody else's lifestyle.
Yeah.
I
No,
got
that you made all excellent points. Like those are the people that are going to be reliable and adhere. And then those are
yeah,
also the people that work like real deal jobs and they can afford to pay you every month. And there's
yeah.
no bullshit. You don't have to chase them
Oh,
down and say, "Hey, you're a week late on the payment. What are we doing
yeah,
about
no,
this?"
dude, that is the war. I hate it's just yeah. I mean, we could have a whole nother talk that you could record in the future if you want about just like coaching pet peeves,
The
dude.
pet peeves. Yes.
Dude, there's enough, man. There's plenty of them, but yeah, man. I mean, but yeah, no, it's going good, man. Like I said, the competitor thing, I just don't. Johnny advised me, you just don't advertise to that.
Well,
Um,
you're a walking advertisement for it.
that's what he
Your
said.
resume as a bodybuilder is your advertisement for that, and as a coach of competitors. I think it's awesome though because you are someone like I roll my eyes because I'll see similar type ads or similar type marketing, where the 21-year-old influencer wants to say, are you a dad with 2 kids? I can help you restructure your life and get you in
Yeah,
shape.
they
And it's
can't
like,
relate.
can you? You don't know anything. You haven't lived any life yet. You have
No,
no responsibility. You
no.
are a guy that's doing it. You are walking that same walk as them.
Yeah, yeah, man. It's some days I can't even believe I have 1 kid, let alone 2.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man, and
Is it awesome or what?
it's the best thing in the world, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, like my
You're
choice.
overrun with females though in the house.
Dude, sometimes we talk about having a 3rd kid, man. I don't think I'm gonna have the luck to have a boy.
Yeah.
It's odd. All bodybuilders have
I was
girls.
just gonna say, dude, I read something about this that in general, it's not even just bodybuilders or guys that are on gear. It's in general, male athletes often have female
It's crazy.
offspring. And I read something about that because our body temperature is higher, it more influences that it's going to be a female. I am
That's
not a
crazy.
scientist and I don't know if that's true or not, but I
I mean,
read
it would
something
make
about
sense.
this.
It would
Yeah.
make sense because I sweat when I eat, sweat when I sleep.
Bro, I
Like,
sweat when I tie my shoes, dude.
yeah, bro. I'm like, I do cardio for 25 minutes every morning. I'm
Yeah.
drenched in sweat. Like I just did an
Yes.
hour of theirs. It's
Yeah.
crazy, man. So I'm sure there's got to be some
There's
validity
got
to
to be something
yeah,
because
because I
it's,
mean it sounds right.
yeah, yeah,
But yeah, no, it's the best, man. It's cool. Your whole entire like perspective on literally everything changes. Like my phone, like go in the car, I won't even pick up my phone. Like I
yeah,
drive like a grandpa now.
yeah.
Like it's
You
and
got
like
precious cargo, dude.
yeah, little girls do too. As like a bigger guy, like
Yeah.
it's crazy, man. They just melt my heart, man. It's the
Yeah.
best.
You know
Um,
what? Every single parent that I know that's a good parent and takes their responsibility as a parent seriously says exactly that, that it completely changes every aspect of your life, how you think, how
yeah,
you act, everything, because they're first.
yeah, dude. I mean,
Um,
it is crazy. Like it's so like obviously us as bodybuilders, like our number one goal is I want to be a IFBB pro, right? Like that's
yep.
the, but like for me, as soon as Vienna was born, my oldest, it was like I just want to go win another regional so I can bring her on stage.
Yeah.
Like that, like if somebody told me you could have a pro card this year or you can have a photo of you and your daughter with an overall, I'm taking the photo with my daughter, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that's just how much they change who you are, man. And like I'm already like kind of like a mellowed out individual,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
like laid back and mild mannered, I'd like to say. At least that's how people describe me. But it made me even more like that, dude. Like it's just like a huge teddy bear, dude. Because like
Yeah. Yeah.
anything that she wants, dude, she
She
gets.
gets it. Yep.
Bad man. And like I'm on the floor every night in her room, just reading books to her. I don't care if it takes her an hour to fall asleep. It is what it is, man. I
It's
don't
awesome.
care. It is pretty crazy. So, um, a large part of too wanting to get back on stage has to do with them. When
Sure.
they're older, I want to show them that like you can go through a bunch of shit, right? Like I went through the suicide stuff when I was 17, man. I went through depression like that. I watched our house here got destroyed in 2020, right before
I
Prep
remember.
Bridget. The whole thing got wrecked, man. I went through that. My parents were getting divorced at that time. I went through that. I was in court with them, going through that shit in prep, then having the kids, my quad tendon tore. So yeah, man, I've been through it. Sit
And
with like
still here and still
with
doing it.
still here with real life stuff, man. So I just want to show them that like, you know, you can literally, as long as you do not quit, you can literally come back from anything and use it to get you better. I really think that all of that hard shit I went through really just makes you a better man and a better human. And it really makes you appreciate when shit is good because you can wake up tomorrow and have to go through a whole hell of a storm and you just don't know it. Like that morning I woke up, I didn't know I was going to tear my quad tendon 12 hours later.
Right.
And my whole life changed for the next 6 months, man.
Right. You can't walk for however long
Oh,
after
dude,
that. So
that was July. Oh my God, July sit whatever, or 12th, my 10th. My surgery was the 15th or 16th, whatever it was, and my daughter was born September 20th. I was literally limping in the hospital holding her. Um,
crazy.
yeah, so it all happens for a reason, though, man. Like we already
Yep.
said. I am thankful for all those things, honestly, looking back.
Yeah, they shape who you are now, and then also the mentality, like we talked about. Like you know that you can overcome adversity. So when things
Yeah,
happen, it's not as big of a deal as like people that never face adversity. We see it now, and I don't mean to bash anybody, but like you see it. I feel like the kids of a generation that are maybe 18 to 21, let's say, they were parented differently than we were.
yep.
And so when they face anything in the
Yeah,
real world,
they
it's
cry and they throw.
catastrophe. Yep,
It's
they
the
need a
worst.
safe space.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they're triggered. It's crazy, but it's refreshing to hear your perspective because it's such an old. It reminds me of my father, like how you were talking about how your dad is.
Yeah.
This whole conversation reminds me of the way that he is as well, because
Yeah.
these are just men that are not men like that are not built anymore. I'll say
Oh,
that.
dude, they're not, man. And like, I'd like to think hopefully we we got passed down that, right?
Yeah. Well, we might be
Yeah,
the last. I'd like to think
it's a
we are
dying breed,
probably the
man.
last generation that were instilled that. Until then, it's the next time around, and it's our sons.
Yeah, man. I tell people all the time, like when you have gone through like some great, like real stuff like that, where like you have no choice but to be strong. Bodybuilding prep, like you hear these people complain, I'm hungry, I'm
I know.
tired, my kids are, yeah, like you go through real shit. Like this is a choice. You're choosing to feel like this. Like it's a to wake up with two legs and be able to walk on a treadmill for an hour is a privilege. To be able to drink 2 gallons of water a day is a privilege. To eat 6 times a day is
Six
a privilege.
meals. Yeah.
Like it's like, come on, man. Like, and I tell, I had this conversation yesterday with one of my clients, and I'm like, dude, you're 2 weeks out. I don't give a shit that you're tired. Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, the 50 minutes of cardio is gonna have to wait. You know what I told him? I said, dude, the guy that's next to you on stage is literally doing the cardio right. And he's like, oh yeah, okay, that's a good point. Like, it's just like younger people, man. Like, like you said, it's like that 22 to 25 range now, too. And it's just like, dude, just like if I ever said that to Johnny, he would have, like, I would have never even thought to, but like, dude, he would have probably told me to go F myself.
Well,
Dead
that's the
serious.
point, dude. I would have been so embarrassed to have to say that to a coach or something. Like I coming up, and I'm sure it was this way here in your relationship with Johnny, but I always had coaches that I respected and looked up to a degree. So I
Yeah,
would go to the end of the earth to it, like
100%.
impress them.
100%. Dude,
So
it's the
I
same.
couldn't imagine, like I've said this to Kelsey, my fiance here, a couple of times, like when someone will check in and say something crazy to me. And I think about it right now, like dude, Justin Compton is my coach. Like he came and stayed at our house last year when I competed. Like
That's awesome.
it's wild. Like Justin Compton, dude, when we were coming up, he was the guy. He was next,
He he
right?
was he was a freak.
So it's like it's hard to put in other terms, but like if you were a sports fan and you were like an upcoming quarterback or something, and fucking I don't know, Cam Newton or Aaron Rodgers came
Yeah,
and stayed at
yeah,
the house or something,
yeah,
and
it's
it's like
crazy.
so then I get people that will check in and they'll like, I have guys that are in prep and we have a set check in schedule where it might be every other day or multiple
Yeah.
times a week. And I've had guys this contest season check in or not check in. And then I send a text because I'm nervous. I'm like, hey, man, are you checking in today? And the guy was like, whoopsie, forgot about that. And I
That's
lost like poor Kels
yeah,
because she's got to listen to me rant, but I'm like, I could not imagine having a set check-in
yeah,
day where Justin Compton told me I need a fasted check-in on this day and
yeah.
having to go back to him and say, oops, sorry, forgot about that. Didn't really
It's
care.
crazy, right?
So I'll send it tomorrow. Like I
Yeah,
would
it's
be so
crazy.
embarrassed, dude.
Yeah, I just it never crossed my mind
No, I
ever.
can't relate.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm such a creature of habit still, man. Like if once I'm back on board here with Johnny or somebody else, like
Yeah.
it's like whatever you tell me to check. It's like you just kind of know what to do. It's like
Bro, I
I'm
heard
still a
this.
creature.
I heard this the other day. I heard big Ron Partlow does the podcast with Dusty Hanshaw. And he
Yeah,
said, like, when you get to a certain point, bodybuilding is just like the software that runs in the background. Like you have
yeah, dude, it
a
literally is.
like the music open on your computer, and then you sit there and do your actual work.
That's what bodybuilding is.
Bodybuilding is like the music that just plays like it's gonna
That's a
happen.
great point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like it's crazy too. I look back over like the last 4 years since I've competed last, and it's like it's literally been like that
Yeah.
outside
It's
of my
still
line
happening.
use. And
Like you
yeah,
being off is different than other people that are off.
yeah, dude, I still train. I've been training. I built my shed out back. I haven't been in a gym in 4 years.
Yeah. Well, you
I
don't
just
need it, but not to cut you off, Steve. We only have a little bit of time left. I
yeah.
don't want to hold you for more than an
Oh,
hour. And
you're
we had
good.
people that wrote in questions, so I want to get to a
Yeah, yeah,
couple
yeah,
of
of
them.
course.
I got ton when I said that I was interviewing you, I got tons of training questions. So I think that
Okay,
speaks to who you are and who
I
people think that
appreciate
you
it.
are. So this guy says my legs need to improve and I typically only do straight sets. Do you think there's a point where I should start using intensifiers?
So I never used any intensifiers on legs.
Yeah.
Only so leg extensions I used to do like a drop set in prep
Okay.
though, never in the off season. So that's the only time I really got into intensifiers. I was never too big on like on like my leg days because of the poundages I was moving. Like I'm definitely not drop setting from a 495 squat after 50 reps, like because it's like cardio at that point. Like
Yes.
10 reps on the leg press aside, I like there was times I tried drop sets. I didn't feel that after giving my all on a top set that I had anything productive to give to a drop set on something like that. And I never wanted to, I always felt it was too risky. You know what I mean? So the straight sets, I feel like have always been fine for me and how I built my legs too. You just have to fucking train. Like it's so simple, right? But like also so hard because like I tell people like with legs, you have to go to a different territory of pain and suffering
It's pain
that
tolerance.
you do not want to be in. Like you just
Yeah.
don't want to be like I tell people all the time, like if I tell you 20 reps for a working set on a leg extension, if you get 12, I expect you literally take 15 deep breaths and go again.
Yeah.
Like whatever. You want to call it a rest pause set, whatever. It's like an intentional intensifier, but just get it done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you went a little too heavy then. Your second working set, drop the weight. You
Yeah.
know, like
On the flip side, it doesn't mean if I say do a set of 20 on leg extensions, it doesn't mean it's 18, 19, 20, no problem.
no,
And then
no,
it's
no, no.
it's like you should feel like you're
Oh
done at
yeah.
12 or
Like
14.
yeah, I tell people like when you have like 5 reps left, like you should be grabbing the handles on the machine so hard and like your glutes, your hips, your legs should be shaking.
Yes.
Like you should be, I tell people too, and I'm sure you'll agree. I always took my squats and leg press to the point where I was literally terrified to go down for that last rep because I did not know if it was going back up. And like
100%.
I've dropped 635 off my back because I went for a seventh
Fuck,
rep
you're an
and didn't
animal,
go
dude.
up. And I was like at six, I remember my dad was behind me. He was like, "You have one more." And like I was like, I remember thinking in my head, like my blood vessels popped, my nose started bleeding, and I had blood coming in down my face. I felt my whole face on my left side like in excruciating pain. And I went down and it didn't go back up. I dropped it. But like those are the sets that fucking make you grow and they teach
Yes.
pain tolerance, right? Like that was probably the lowest reps I ever went to. I do think legs should be like 12 to 20 reps. That's always how I train.
Yeah.
Like hack
Like a
squat.
heavy higher rep.
Yeah, I mean, it probably was a blessing and a curse that I was so strong on my squats because like I would always squat dead last. And I would remember I would do 3 plates for 30, 4 plates for 20, 5 plates for 15, and then I would do 6 plates for 8 to 10. And then I would just I was done.
Yeah.
And like all
Which
that
is
volume
man,
was
that's
like,
so it's such a good lesson because people now, like I don't know if you see all this stuff on
it's
online
all bullshit, man. I
where these
just,
kids are arguing that anything more than 4 reps is a waste of
no, I'm not
fatigue and
doing
all this
that.
stuff.
I don't
It's
care.
like, man, I can remember doing sets of 50 on the leg press or upsets where it's like,
Yeah.
you do one plate for 10, 2 plates for 20, 3 for 34. It
Dude,
was almost legs was to me was almost just like, what's the hardest shit I could think of doing?
yeah, I remember like for me, it was like I never had a set thing with legs. So I was the only definitive for me was I'm squatting last. And that was
Yeah.
all that was always it. Like it wasn't hack squats, right? It was just barbell squats. And no
Yeah.
Smith, just a free bar. I loved ripping barbell squats. I
Yeah.
wish I still could, man. I'm just not doing it now. I can't even get my bad shoulder back enough to
That's
fucking
I
hold.
can't get back there, dude.
No, dude. Like, so it's just like even leg press now, man. The hack squat I'm doing, like I have the old school Cybex leg press and hack squat going,
Heaviest in the
and,
game, dude.
and like at the hack squat now, like eventually I want to get back up to like 4 plates, but I can't see myself going over that. But I'm keeping
No
all my
need.
sets. No, I'm
Yeah.
keeping all my sets with like a full pause all the way down, going
Yeah.
up, using a nice 3-4 count coming down with the pause in the hole, and I'm going like 15 to 20 reps. And I'm still not doing like true failure sets because
Sure.
ending, but I also don't know that I need to, but
I don't
because
think you do.
no, so like, but like I'm damn near almost there. I'd say like I'm 2-3 reps away because where the load's at now. But
Right.
those machines are so fucking heavy, dude. They're so
Yeah.
humbling, those Cybex ones, and I'm so lucky I found them. Um, but they are like that leg press, I'm sure you've used it, will literally humble the hell out of you because you can only fit like 9, 10 plates on each side. But when you get to like 7, 8 plates, forget it, bro. Like
That's all I need, bro.
are you
That
bury your
that
glute?
hack squat, that hack squat with
Oh,
three
that thing's
plates
crazy.
aside is
Oh, dude, that
you
thing's
feel
crazy.
like you're
bro.
it's
It's
almost disappointing because you're like, man, 3 plates feels like
oh, it's
this. Like,
almost
what am I doing wrong?
yeah. So I had like one of them newer hack squats and I sold it when I found the Cybex and I'm like,
Yeah,
forget this new piece of shit. Like I want that
yeah,
Cybex
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So I paid the extra money and the guy was like, I'll take the new one. I'm like, why you don't want this? He's like, no, this thing's too old. I'm like, dude, this is I didn't tell him that because I was like, I want this thing. So I took
Right.
it. I was like, forget it. So I paid him a little extra. He drove up the Cybex hack squat and leg press from Virginia for me. And I
Wow.
took both of them. I traded in my hack squat and my hammer strength shoulder press he wanted. I
Okay.
have a Life Fitness shoulder press now that's just easier on my arthritis.
Yeah.
Um, but those two pieces, and I have the leg extension from Cybex that matches those, which is the plates go in 10 pounds, dude, but each one feels like it's 25. Like the
Yes.
the
Yeah.
select.
Yeah.
It's so old, dude. It's ridiculous. So
People
I'm
don't
like,
know what they have with old school equipment. If they're not in
it's the
this, they
best,
don't
bro.
know what they have. Yeah.
No, dude, I have all old school stuff, man. Like I have a Paramount seated leg curl, and the seat is slanted like this.
Mm,
You
mm.
cannot cheat at all. Like all the shit nowadays is literally like this, where you can hump forward,
Yes.
cheat. That
Yes.
dude, the seat is so steep, your ass is back.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stretch on your hamstrings is great. I have an old school Cybex plate loaded lying hamstring curl.
Oh,
It's so
okay.
good. It feels so good.
Okay.
I
Man, you got all the old school stuff.
all of it. I got an incline Cybex machine. I got the old
Oh,
like
nice.
pec deck. Yeah, dude, I got like an old the old Cybex preacher curl, the plate loaded one where you load the plates on the
Oh,
side.
no shit.
It's so old, dude. Yeah, I got
You
the old.
mentioned Life Fitness a couple times too. They're more of like a corporate brand, but they have some good stuff, dude.
They do. Yeah, I have the shoulder press from them just because like the seat is on a very slight angle, so it allows my elbow to
Yes.
stay tucked from
Yeah,
my
yeah.
upright.
All
Yeah,
right,
dude, I
man. Let
got.
me let me get one more from you. I don't mean to cut you off, but I want to get
Oh no,
through
you're good,
another
dude.
question. And a bunch of people wrote in asking me about legs because I guess people know that you have great legs. Um, this guy says, how would you structure a training split? Only have 4 days to train. Legs and arms are major focus.
So I would probably do a quad focus day. And then
Yeah.
I would for 4 days, I'd probably make a posterior chain day where you're doing
Okay.
back and hamstrings.
Hamstrings. Yep.
Yeah. And then I'd probably do two push days, one where you focus on chest a little more, one where you focus on shoulders. And I would add a little bit of arm volume at the end of both of them.
Okay. And so you would do biceps and triceps with push basically?
Yeah, I'd probably like just to throw like maybe two, three sets in of
Yeah.
each. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Two sets of a superset. Just for the frequency of it if you're trying to bring them up, but don't
Yeah.
overload the volume. Like, dude, if you know how to train your arms, they're such a small muscle, you know this, right? Like, dude, if like you train your biceps and triceps how they're meant to be trained, like you can smoke the shit out of them in 3 sets. Like,
It depends. My arms haven't always responded to that. Like I would do it. That's why I think there is like we're all so different. We're all so
yeah, it's
individual.
true. Yeah,
You
yeah,
have killer arms. You have killer arms. I could see why you would say that. And I think like coming up to a lot of us were doing like push pull legs or like some of these
yeah,
bigger splits.
yeah.
And I just find like if I don't have an arm day in, my arms get smaller.
Yeah, so I would agree with that. There are people like my
And
one buddy.
I know how to train. I'm training to
Oh, I
failure.
know.
I'm
Oh,
training
for
with
sure,
good
bro.
form. And
Well,
it's
that
just like, man, the 3 sets after pull day or push day are just not going to cut it for me. I
yeah,
need
I
to do
would
20 sets on an arm day.
I agree. Yeah. So like if he had a fifth day, this guy,
It
and
would
he
be an
was
arm day.
prioritizing arms and it would be a full
I
arm
hear
day,
you.
right?
No,
I'm
I
just
hear
trying to
you.
think
I
with the
hear you.
4 days, like how can I get things in more frequent where the guy's clearly gonna need to train arms more than once a week if they're that
Yes.
weak.
No, I totally agree.
Just
That
frequency.
and it's like if you only have 4 days to train and legs, he mentioned is his biggest priority, you better be training legs twice a week.
Oh, dude, he better be training quads like a fucking maniac, dude.
Yeah,
I wish I had some of those leg days back in the day, man, like recorded because like
I
I'm
know.
not like the best trainer, but like, dude, I used to like I ended up in the hospital once. My dad had me lunging like 185 across LA Fitness, and
Oh yeah.
this is how crazy he is, bro. I went to the hospital because I passed out because the bar was pressing on the bone in my neck,
Mm.
and we went back to the gym that night and finished it. Like he made
See,
me.
but that molded you, dude. That molded
It's
you.
true. He made me go to the gym and do legs on Memorial Day in like 2014. I had mono. I woke up with a 103 fever. I didn't know what was wrong with me. He's like, "Oh no, you're fine." like eat your meal and let's go. And like I passed out on the leg press and like just started
Oh
throwing
man,
up and ended up in the hospital again. Yeah, so like crazy shit. Like those aren't the ones I wish I had on tape. But like, dude, I remember like the one leg day, dude, I squatted 405 for 33 reps.
that's
And like I
insane,
just
dude.
started vomiting on like the last rep. I was like, I'm gonna go for 20. And then I breezed to 20. I was like 25. And I was like, I'm going to 30. And at 30, I literally couldn't feel my whole body. Like I felt like I was out of my body. And I got three more. And then like on the 33rd rep, I remember I got halfway up, dropped the bar, and I just started vomiting on the floor. It was sick, dude. But
That's
like
fucking insane
but like
training,
that's the
dude.
shit though that shit like I start smiling because it's fucking awesome.
Yes.
Like
Well, then people will see what your legs look like, and then they want to send a message on Instagram. What do you recommend I do for legs? It's like train
yeah,
like a fucking maniac. Train
yeah,
like a
dude.
maniac.
Dude, I real quick. I don't. We have till like 7:30 if you want. I want to answer the
Okay.
questions are awesome. I love this, dude, and I don't do this often, so we're good, man. That's the girls' bath time. So
Okay. Okay.
So I remember in prep for Junior USA's, I was in my old shed. It was a 10 by 15 shed that was here when we bought the house. It
Yeah.
got destroyed when the trees fell, but there was no heat, no air. It's in May, it's hot as shit here in
It's
Jersey.
hot as hell. Yeah.
So I'm on my old hack squat. That was one of those leg press hack squat convertible.
Yes. I remember seeing it in the videos.
So,
Yeah.
dude, so heavy, dude. So
Yeah.
fucking heavy. But we were 3 weeks out from Junior USA. It was after the Philly show we did. And
Yeah.
I had four plates aside, and my dad was like, "You have 5 sets of 20 on."
Fuck. That's heavy as hell.
Oh,
Four
it,
plates
it was
aside on
ridiculous.
that.
Yeah, it was 5 sets of 20. I was on the
Oh.
fourth set. I went right outside the shed. Dude, it was so hot in there. We had one little fan. I started throwing
Oh.
up on the grass. My buddy at the time was with me. He was training. He tapped out after like seated hand curls and leg extensions. He was like, "This
Yeah.
fuck it." So he was like, "It's all you, dude." And at that point, we're so lean, bro. It's like,
Yeah.
but you're so focused. It's like the focus at 3 weeks out, in my opinion, is way more focused than 50 weeks out. Right.
100%.
So I
You could see
remember,
the light at the end of the tunnel.
yeah, bro, and like, but you look so crazy then too.
Yeah.
So
You look different every
and it
day.
motivates you, right? So I
Yes.
was out there, and my dad brings a stopwatch, not his phone. He has a fucking stopwatch, and he time sets on leg days. Like if it's 3 minutes, he does not give a fuck if you're bleeding, throwing. So the watch went off, and I was still fucking vomiting, dude. And he was like, "Yo, let's go." My buddy was like, "Yo, Mr. Mitropoulos, like he's still throwing up." My dad's like, "This
Yo,
isn't."
where you said your dad's an immigrant. Where is he from?
He's from Greece.
Okay, I figured with the
Yeah, he
last
came
name.
here on a
Yeah.
boat when he was 15, man, taught himself English, went to Drexel and
He's just got
Temple.
no tolerance for any of the
No,
bullshit.
he doesn't give a shit, man. He does
No.
not care. So like he came out and he was like, "Yo, it's time to go again." My buddy
Yeah.
was like, "From Metropolis, he's still throwing up." My dad looked at this kid and was like, "Yo, this isn't your fucking
Get the
workout."
fuck out of my
Yeah, he
house.
goes, "This
Yeah.
isn't your fucking workout. Like,
Yeah.
let me do what I gotta do." And the kid was like, "Oh, okay." So I
He's
I
like,
was
let
like,
me
just
go home.
dude, it was so crazy. I had like puke in my beard and shit, man. It was disgusting.
Yeah.
I'm just squatting on the hack squat, like,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
but that's how you build legs, man. It's
That's
just,
bodybuilding, baby.
it's pain, bro. There's no
Yes.
fancy secret. Just go through pain.
What are you doing training split wise right now?
So right now I'm doing quads. Then I do push.
Steve, are you doing like adductors with quads?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Okay.
it's nothing crazy. I'm doing on my posterior chain day, I'm doing two working sets of,
Okay.
of, of that. And then on quad day, I'm just going up to one. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
quick, dude. I'm
You're
done in
just
like,
trying to get everything warm. Yeah.
yeah, I do that. I do seated hand curls. The seated hand curls is like two sets of 20, 25. I'm a
Okay.
big believer in doing some type of hand curl before quads. I really have always felt a huge difference. And
Yep.
adductors, I feel like my quads, you feel them a lot more. Who knows if that's true or not? It's just from the last fucking 14 years of training, what I've always felt. So, um, then I'm doing push. And then I'm doing back. And then like I'll either take off like the third or fourth day. It really just depends how I feel. I'm trying to be a lot more intuitive now than saying like you're programmed 3 days. If I feel like I need to rest, I'm resting. I'm a lot more in tune now at 32, especially after my knee. Um, I'm doing deep tissue work and acupuncture once a week, along with chiropractic. So I kind of book them on Wednesday or Thursday, and I go to all three in a row. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
It's like a big recovery day.
dude, I'm like, yeah, we're fucking old now, man. It's just
Yeah.
like
Oh yeah.
at 21, dude, I was like, I don't even know what this shit is. Now it's like,
Yeah.
if I don't have that, I'm fucked.
You
It's like,
feel it. Oh, you
dude,
feel
it's
it.
crazy, bro. So
And then I'm doing I do push again, but like my push days are like three chest movements, one shoulder, and then the opposite. And it's
Okay.
like, so it's like I haven't trained like this in 3 years, man. So
Yeah.
like I hate to say it, but I was like going through more of the motions just because I love to train. But like I
Yeah.
had nothing to intensely push for, right? My focus was on learning how to be a father. So, you're obviously learning that every day and still being a good husband, right? Like the last 4 years, I really want to say was about my wife with the hormones, postpartum, the babies, like wanting to see her learn how to become a mom and all that. And just learning how to be a family guy. So, but yeah, and then I do posterior chain on Saturday, like Saturday usually, when I'm doing
Okay.
hamstrings and back. I love a posterior chain day, man. I just always
Yeah.
have. It feels so good, man. Just ripping some heavy stiff legs. I do two back movements.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm doing now, man. I feel good. My food's pretty high, and
Okay.
my physique's changing. Obviously I weigh all my food and shit, but I'm not
Of
checking in.
course.
I'm not taking pictures. I'm not increasing food or anything.
Just living the process for now. Yeah.
Yeah, I got my blood work a month ago. Everything was really good, so I can't complain, dude.
You kind of alluded to it. I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but so back on PEDs now for the first time in a long time or what?
Yeah, I'm not doing much, man. I'm on 750 test and I'm
Okay.
on 400 Masteron. That's it.
Okay. All right. That's a cruise for me, but I got you.
Yeah, yeah. So
Just kidding.
like no, I don't want
No,
to
that's
push
good.
anything until I'm guided by somebody because I want them to.
Then it just gives you plenty of room to
Oh
progress.
yeah.
Dude, 4 years away from all of it, that's gonna do the
Oh yeah,
trick.
dude, I know. And like I'm doing 2 units of growth now. The first time I ever touched growth was when, in prep for junior USAs. I never used it before.
Oh, no kidding.
So
Okay.
yeah, it made a massive difference, I feel like, in that
Yeah,
prep, the looks and whatnot. But yeah, I used it for the recovery and then I stopped. Shit is expensive.
it is.
All of those peptides, man, for 3.5 months in the growth ran me like 4K.
I believe it.
And it's
I
fun, but
believe
it
it.
was worth it, man. It was like
Worth it to
your
be
health.
back.
Yeah, it's your health. I don't spend money on dumb shit, right? Like, I don't have a fucking $400,000 car like some of these fucking people. Like,
I know.
you know what I mean?
Well, it's your health.
Uh,
Like you were basically buying back like time,
well, it was either that or take the Percocets and the fucking ibuprofen that the doctor said. I
like
was like,
that.
I didn't take a goddamn thing. I was like, I'll just let me be in pain. This shit will go away,
Yeah.
and that's it. So, but that's the split, man. I'm doing now. Whoever coaches me, I'm sure will change whatever they want. I don't care. It's like, we're good listeners, man. Coach.
Compton's gonna get you, and he's gonna tell you to do 40 sets of workout. He
I listen,
loves the
dude,
volume, dude.
but if that's what he tells me to do, I don't care. I've done it
Yeah.
before. I'm doing
Yeah.
like the straight the working sets now and stuff. I noticed I have to do that with like my push days because of how bad my shoulder arthritis is.
Right. So
Um,
you have to make up the difference because the intensity
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like on back day, dude, I'm doing like 4 sets of fucking 10 to 12 on it, like because I can. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yes.
On quads right
That
now.
I think like quads and back, I think they're just such big muscles that
Oh
or the
no,
muscle groups.
quads. I'm not doing like 1, 2. Like on leg press, I'm like 3 sets of 20.
I was
Like,
I was more so saying like higher rep stuff like for
oh yeah, that's
quad
what I mean. I'm
because
doing like 15 to
I
20.
might only do I might only do 4 sets for the whole week on quads, but they're like
Right.
nothing below 12. And then
Yeah.
for back, I feel like I could just hammer it with
Oh yeah, you could
15
do 30
sets.
sets. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I want to say for quads, like if I'm true maximum effort sets, it's probably like Smith squat. I'm doing like one
Yeah.
set.
That's it.
Hack squats maybe two. Leg
Right.
press two, and then leg extensions are like one or two.
That's it.
8 sets, but like if my legs were where they're at, and I know they will be, and probably better in a year from now when I get back on stage. But it's like if they were where they were 4 years ago, at like that peak of like being 30, whatever, 1, 2 inches and shredded and round and full, like I was doing maybe like four fucking
That's what I'm
ball.
talking about.
But
Yeah.
they're hard sets, man. They're like
Right.
they'll make you rethink your life.
That's before an injury, like that mindset where it's like,
Yeah.
man, I can just demolish this in 4 sets and then it's
I,
over.
I'm getting back there though, man, and like it feels fucking good. Like I'm in that
Awesome.
mindset now. I can't wait to train quads again.
I love that.
It's fun, dude.
Um, man, it's great to hear. It's great to hear that you're back after
Yeah,
being down and out for a bit, but also no surprise here, like knowing you as a person
I
before obviously
appreciate
we
it,
ever
man.
did this, knowing your mindset, knowing the family that you come from and the people that you were
I
raised by,
appreciate it, man.
man, it's just great to see you. It's great to talk to you and hear that the plan is in place for you to come back. So
Yeah,
besides that, awesome to hear that the business is doing well. that the girls are doing well. I appreciate you making time for this, man.
Oh, of course. I appreciate you asking me to come on, dude. It's
Yeah,
always
absolutely. All right. So for Steve, I'm Joe. This was the One More Rep podcast. And until next time, guys, we are out.